Brand new video, and today, exciting times here. We have the first, or actually week 0 of college football. Even dating back to all of last season, which was the first football season I had been making content like this on this channel. Super fun times. I think this is the best time of year. This is obviously the first football video I've made, including NFL. Super excited, you guys, to get started and put out this content every single week. I'm gonna have anytime there's more than 2 or at least 2 college football games. I'm going to try to put out a video here. Obviously, NFL putting out content every single day there's a game. Again, there's a link in the description below. You can sign up for our premium Discord here. $9.30 per month. You get all the plays here I'm making on PrizePicks, as well as some other premium cappers in there that give all of their plays. $9.30 per month. Again, one of the cheaper Discords, in my opinion, around. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not gambling advice. Simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. But let's get into it, you guys. We got week 0 of college football. It's important to keep in mind that because it's week 0, we don't know necessarily. I mean, we kind of have an idea of depth charts and things like that, but things obviously can change. So we're talking about here week 0. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games in college football Division 1 here. I got 2 plays that I am targeting from this slate here. Slate is for Saturday, August 26th. So again, let's get started. 2 plays here, PrizePicks, college football. Both of these plays are going to be fantasy scores, actually. But yeah, let's get into it. No one's pressing submit on those parlays other than yourself. The first play is going to be a wide receiver prop, and I'm looking at Smoke Harris over 13.5 fantasy score for Louisiana Tech against FIU. So let's get into why I like this. So taking a quick look at this matchup, it's a home game for Louisiana Tech. Obviously, the weather it's not going to play a factor here at all. It's a 58 over under. Louisiana Tech is going to be 12-point favorites in this one. These two teams actually faced each other last season, I believe. Let's see. I think they faced each other last season. Let's just actually pull this up. Full team schedule. Yeah, they faced each other last season, FIU and Louisiana Tech. And you can see here, they had a 42-34 matchup. Probably one of FIU's best games. FIU actually won this game, and it was a pretty high-scoring game. We're looking at a combined over-under of 76 here. And in that game, we saw Smoke Harris have 9 catches for 56 yards. 21-yard long reception that he had in that game, averaged 6.2 yards per catch. Nate Jones caught 4 catches for 72 yards. He's no longer, I think he's graduated no longer, or he transferred, or I don't know. He's not on the, or he's a tight end. Maybe he's still on the team, but we're looking at Smoke Harris, 9 receptions in that game. And Smoke Harris last season, if we look at this, he cleared this fantasy score line of 13.5 in 6 games. Okay, 6 games, and he went under in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 of 12. Sorry, he cleared the over on this line. But why I'm targeting this play here, one, we saw last season he finished 94 snaps, played a season high snaps. This game obviously it went to overtime. Finished with 14.6 fantasy in the game, 9 catches for 56 yards. Didn't score a touchdown. Not really a touchdown threat because he's not a red zone threat. He's only 5'7" here, but he still got peppered with targets, and he actually led the team in targets. He had at least 5 targets in every single game last season, and actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games here with at least 8 targets. But why I like him for Saturday, I think I'm recording this video on Friday, is because look at his targets, right? We talked about this, 8.4 targets per game, 6.3 yards per target, total targets, 101 targets for 66 receptions. But I'm targeting this play here because of the quarterback change at Louisiana Tech. So we look at the new quarterback here is going to be Hank Bachmeier, right? He just transferred. You can see here, Bachmeier was transferred to Louisiana Tech. He spent 4 seasons with Boise State, collecting 6,600 pass yards, 31 touchdowns. His best season came in 2021, where he tossed 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions as a starter for Boise Tech. He's a 5th-year starter here, and he has been named the starter, actually. So we take a look at this. The quote from Hank Bachmeier here is, he picked the quarterback-friendly system, Sonny Cumbie, where he'll be able to continue his development. He'll enroll in the spring with the aim of competing for the starting job in 2023. He's quoted as saying, "I wanted to play in the air raid in a pass-friendly offense. I think Coach Cumbie and his track record are a great fit in an offense that any quarterback would want to play in." So we know Louisiana Tech loves to throw the ball. They are an air raid offense. Their head coach coming from that Texas Tech coaching tree, looking to throw the ball a ton. And if you take a look, I mean, Louisiana Tech last season got pretty up and down quarterback play across the board. So, Hank Bachmeier coming in and being the quarterback, he's a much better quarterback, like much better quarterback than any quarterback that Louisiana Tech had last season. Smoke Harris, obviously, he's going to get a ton of targets, and it is a great matchup for him, in my opinion, here. You know, taking a chance to, you know, work with this new quarterback here. Saw the team high in targets last season. I think if he can get, you know, 8 to 9 receptions in this game, I think this should be easy over. I mean, look at how many games he had at least 9 receptions, right? But this is with a much better quarterback here. Obviously, the over-under is in our favor. I think FIU doesn't have the greatest secondary as well, so they should be able to exploit this here. I like Smoke Harris over 13.5 fantasy score against FIU. The second play is going to be another fantasy score. It's going to be another play that's 13.5. It's going to be Shea Bangura over 13.5 fantasy score against San Diego State. So we're taking a look at this, right? I don't know why this is this low, honestly. We look at Shea Bangura. You know, towards the end of last season, he ripped off 5 straight games of 29, 26, 15, 14.9, and 23.6 fantasy points. Last season, again, another season, he is the bell cow back in this offense. So a couple of things that I do find interesting about this is you take a look at on PrizePicks, his rush yards currently is set at 65.5, and we look at FanDuel. FanDuel has his FanDuel has his rush yards at 71.5. So I don't know if they're including this in the fantasy score, but I mean, he is also, we look at TD score props, he's minus 150 anytime TD score, which has the highest odds of anyone in this game. We look at San Diego State against running backs last season, fantasy points per game, 16.6. They did give up, 1,400 total yards, rushing yards to the running back position. They also did give up a good amount of receiving, 34 receptions, as well as 268 receiving yards. Targets as well, pretty decent amount of targets to the running back position at 49 targets total. And we saw Sagan Bangura, which is why I'm taking his fantasy score. I mean, these receptions opportunities, right? He saw, let's see, at least 7 games where he saw at least 2 receptions. So, I mean, if he can get us 3 to 4 fantasy points just off the receiving aspect, I think he should be able to do enough work on the ground here to hit the over on this line. Also, the quarterback for Ohio is coming off an ACL injury that he tore last November. So I definitely think they're going to rely early on here on Shea Bangura. She should get a ton of workload. Workload should absolutely be massive. We also take a look at how he did last season. The majority of his high-scoring games came on the road. I think the Ohio offense likes to run the ball, pound the ball on the road. We saw here against Kent State, Western Michigan, Wyoming, Ball State, and Miami of Ohio, he finished with 20-plus fantasy points in all 5 of those games, and all 5 of those games happen to actually come on the road. So, again, I think Shea Bangura gets fed a ton in this game. This game is a close spread as well, so there shouldn't be any blowout risk. Minus 2.5, San Diego is going to be favored in this game. But Ohio, probably one of the better offenses in college football, in my opinion. So this should be a close game. I think they're going to rely on the running back position here with Curtis Rourke, like I said, coming off that ACL injury, first game back from that. And then, again, his props are really set. He's at 71.5 on FanDuel. Rushing prop here, rush yards prop on this game. This PrizePicks is at 65.5. So, I mean, if he can clear 71.5, that's already going to be 7 fantasy points. If he can score a touchdown, receiving options as well. Again, the injury to the quarterback, I think they use a ton of checkdowns too. So yeah, these are the 2 plays here for this video. Smoke Harris over 13.5 fantasy score as the first play, and then Shea Bangura over 13.5 fantasy score as the second play. Again, college football is week 0, so there could be some volatility here. Keep that in mind. Again, check out all the links in the description. Drop a like on this video, hit the subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.